Hi, you may have caught my Insta story last week that was asking if you were buying a new home or a spec home, would you use a realtor? Now, most people answered yes, which is awesome, but the people that answered no, their reasoning was either they didn't know that they were allowed to bring their own realtor, or they didn't know that they needed to bring a realtor. They didn't really necessarily see a benefit. So I'm hoping that I can take a minute to kind of debunk both of those. Also, if your hang up, and I know a lot of people have mentioned this, is that they don't want to bug a realtor. I've had so many people say, I don't want to bug you, but I want to go look at a new build. First of all, you're never bugging your realtor. That's our job. And I speak for myself, I love going to new builds. So you are never bugging me at all. I love going. But if that's one of your issues and you have a big problem with bugging your realtor, try to see if you can get a stack of their cards. Take the stack of their cards with you to new builds, and when you go through, if they absolutely insist that you register, hand them your realtor's card. Another thing you can do is just storm right past the registration desk and just say, I'm just looking, and don't register. Then you can go back with your realtor again another time. Anyway, those are just some thoughts, but here I'm going to answer a few more questions. Okay, reason number one to use a realtor: you have an advocate by your side. These sales agents in these offices, they're employed by the builder. They are not employed for you. They are not employed to represent your best interests. Trust me when I say they are looking out for the builder's best interests. They're trying to make the builder money. So go in represented by someone who's advocating for you. You also have never read over these contracts. I know that the agents have that are in those offices a lot of times, but you haven't. So have an agent in there that can read contract language and tell you if something's fishy. Reason number two to use a realtor: you walk through these models. Obviously they are beautiful, but do you know what's standard? Most people don't. Did you know that a model usually has between, like a middle line model, we usually have about $80,000 to $150,000 in upgrades? I've seen houses that the base prices are $250,000 and they have $150,000 in upgrades. So having an agent with you, they're able to walk you through and say, look, this is standard, this isn't. So that's very helpful. Also, you need to know how much you should plan on for upgrades. It really depends on the builder. Some builders' standard options are awesome. Some standard options are horrible. So it helps to know what you can expect to pay for each particular builder, for each particular product for each builder. Some builders have different tiers of standards, so it's important to know that. Also, agents are very familiar with new builds. We can look through an upgrade catalog that might seem like a foreign language to you, and I can discern most upgrade catalogs pretty darn well. So the thing about buying a new build is you'll realize that the design center appointment is usually about a week to 2 weeks after you sign the contract, sometimes longer. And by that point, you are locked into that contract. So sometimes you get to the design center, if you're not represented by a realtor, and realize, oh my gosh, their standards are awful, and I have to spend $50,000 just to get this looking even remotely close to the beautiful model that I fell in love with. So something to remember. One other thing to add to that, with the builder, did you know that most builders actually make most of their profits off of the upgrades? They make almost nothing off of the actual house. They make most of it off of upgrades because they mark them up so high. So yes, a lot of upgrades, you can wrap them into your mortgage, and big ticket items, that's usually a good idea, but little things, you might actually save money if you do it after the closing all by yourself. So something to think about. Okay, item number 4. People think that they are going to get a better deal on a house from a builder if they do not use a realtor. People think that the builder will lower the price or take off the commission amount if they do not use a realtor. That is not true. Builders' prices are set. Their base prices are set. They will not negotiate. In this market, builders don't have any reason to negotiate on their base prices. Their homes sell just fine. Now, if you are getting into a new build and you are looking for a deal, your best bet is a spec. Builders will negotiate on their specs. Now, the closer they are to the completion date, the more negotiable they are. if they are almost done or done, that is when you're going to get the best deal. Now, of course, you don't get to pick anything, but you do get a pretty good deal. These builders want this off of their books. They don't want a vacant home sitting there. They want it sold. So generally they'll start cutting the price as soon as it gets close to being completed or is completed. Not having a realtor doesn't save you any money. If anything, it can help you because us realtors know if and when things are negotiable, how much they're negotiable, and we can watch the market and watch these properties and see if and when something comes up that might end up being a really good deal. So if you are thinking about buying new, I promise you that it will benefit you to use a realtor. There is no reason why it's a hindrance to use a realtor other than the possible inconvenience of you having to take your realtor along with you. But I assure you that any realtor would be happy to meet you at a new build community. So if you are considering buying new, please reach out to me or a realtor and we would love to help you.